Ave Satanas. In this video, it's not really going to be a sermon, it's just kind of like an introduction to myself and my background and whatnot. So, basically, I was raised a Christian starting from the age of either 6 or 8. I'm not too sure, it was long ago. But all my life, I was taken to church and participating in all that church bullshit. It wasn't until the age of 19 in 2012 when I left to college in another city within my state, that I was free from the weekly trips to church. At this time, my dad became a pastor of his own church for about 1 or 2 years prior to going to college. I want to set some things straight. My dad is not the type of pastor who takes people's money and forces the members to give money or condemns them to punishment if they don't give to the church. Nor does he take the money that the members donate for himself. I can assure you this. He is not one of those pastors. Anyhow, he is still a pastor at this little church he bought up. I actually don't remember when this happened, but at a certain point in college, I started to slowly lose my faith and consider myself a deist. For a while, believing in the Christian God, but thought that he just didn't pay attention to me or care for me. It wasn't until a night where I wanted to review things about Satanism. So I watched a sermon of a, quote, former Satanist, end quote, exposing, end quote, everyday occultism in cartoons and games and what have you. I'll put the link on the description to that video if you want to watch it. You might lose a couple brain cells. Now, of course, I believed this, and when I showed it to one of my friends, he commented that everything that he was saying was wrong. I didn't really believe him, as most arrogant Christians would do the same. So I went and did some research on Satanism and came across Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. I fearfully downloaded a PDF copy of it and began to read it. I was surprised at what I was reading. I didn't see anything about sacrifices, evil rituals, death wishes, or anything negative that the churches promote against Satanism and Father Satan. I didn't even see anything anti-Christian in that book either, except the first pages they weren't even anti-Christian. It was just him pointing out stupid shit in Christianity, just like atheists do. After all, LaVey was an atheist, so no surprise there. So, as I read, and to be honest, I never really finished the book. I stopped at around halfway, but with what I read, this book, I believe I had a good idea of what Satanism was, or at least what I thought was Satanism. This is when my faith started to slowly degrade. I began to watch more and more videos about Satanism from people on YouTube. I actually agreed with a lot of what I read and heard from Satanism, but obviously I was just there for learning purposes. I wasn't interested in being a Satanist, as I still kind of believed in God of the Unholy Bible. After a while, I came across a video from Dark Matter 2525 about Noah's Ark, and I'll put the link in the description to that video. In that video, the character Jeffrey commented on what Yahweh was doing in regards of putting the animals in the ark. He would argue about the temperature change and the food, then the mix of fresh and salt water, and since I actually have some basic science knowledge, it all made sense. This is when logic struck my head so hard, I instantly became an atheist. That night, I watched Dark Matter 2525's video almost all night and was laughing my ass off and thinking to myself, how could I actually believe all this nonsense? This is when my atheistic journey began, and I started to watch videos from atheist YouTubers like The Amazing Atheist, Jacqueline Glenn, Cult of Dusty. I even came across a call-in show called The Atheist Experience and watched many of their shows and I learned a lot from them when it came to logic and science versus Christian bullshit. I proceeded to go onto forums about atheism and, of course, YouTube comment debates strengthening my atheism. The following January of 2015, for some reason in the dinner table with my family, my dad had asked me if I believed in God. I smiled and kind of giggled a bit and said no. This led to an all-out debate about God, and I put my atheistic ideas in practice that I had learned from the internet. The next day, after the night of the debate, was church day, and I refused to go. So, long story short, I was a bit mistreated since I came out as an atheist. Not to the point of being cursed at, but occasionally my disbelief in God would come up and account for irrelevant situations, which is it's a lot to explain. Now this cooled down, and they don't comment about it. If it comes up, it's rare. So for a while, I was still an atheist, and one day in Yahoo Answers, I came across a question about Satanism. The person who had asked the question wanted to know more about Satanism. Now at this time, I want to comment. I kind of consider myself to be an atheist Satanist, since I agreed with some of LaVey's teachings, but had some of my own ideas. I don't really consider this part of my life serious, since I was still an atheist either way. So I left an answer with my email telling him to email me, and I could talk to him about it. He did so, and it turned out that he was a spiritual Satanist, and introduced me to the Joy of Satan ministries. He briefly explained their beliefs, and as an atheist, I laughed, of course. We chatted more about it for a while, but I was still an atheist. This isn't on the script, I should update it, but he actually sent me a live video of him recording such claimed demon to knock over a bottle. Now, I don't know if I can upload that to show y'all. I still have it. I'd have to ask him. But if I do, I'll upload it, definitely. It wasn't until later that year, around May through June, that I kept reading about devil worship, witchcraft, and Satanism in general. That is when my curiosity escalated. I read testimonials and even reports to the Joy of Satan ministries that atheists and non-believers have attempted to summon demons and were in shock when they saw the demon. By now I was planning to dedicate my soul to Satan, as I started to believe that this was possibly the one true religion. The next month, July, I dedicated my soul to Father Satan, and am now here sharing my religious life story. So, well, that's my story. Thank you for listening, and subscribe for more. Like and share this video, and help spread the message of Satanism. Ave Satanas.